I only have 12 bullets, so you're gonna have to share.
Let's count them down. 7.
You don't have to be bad to be a badass. Just ask all the core heroes and anti-heroes of modern media for proof. Still having a hard time believing that?
Tell them the man in black sent you.
Well, here are my top 10 most badass scenes in the movies. Like, share and subscribe to gain an official stamp of boss man authority in my heart. Done? Well, let's move forward.
You ever had that dream where you're falling as if you've been pushed off a tall building? That was probably me.
Music's always the answer, isn't it? I'm not just saying that. Doctors recommend it too. Even their evil alternate versions from a different universe. Doctor Strange has always been known as the Sorcerer Supreme, but good guys like him can also give in to the dark side. That's kind of what happens in the multiverse of madness, where Sherlock Holmes has got to face off against his evil clone. Well, he's not a clone really, is he?
Things just got out of hand.
But you know what I mean. Out of all the possible weapons these guys could have used against each other, they decide to go with music. Yeah, they literally fight each other using musical notes from instruments nearby. Now, I don't really know how that works, but I've got to say, it looked pretty slick. I was kind of hoping for Evil Strange to show us what his third eye could do as well, but I guess Steven's going to be the guinea pig for that in the sequel. Before we move ahead, I want to shout out today's sponsor, CyberGhost VPN. If you're a film and TV fanatic like me, it must be a pain to get access to all your favorite content online, right? And on top of that, we live in a world where data breaches and malware infections are as common as a new Fast and Furious movie.
No way. I'm getting hacked.
Luckily, CyberGhost VPN's here to keep you protected and safe with online anonymity and military-grade security. The app's kind of like your own team of online Avengers transmitting your data through a secure, encrypted tunnel. You can also access every single library available on over 40 streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime and Disney+. Thanks to CyberGhost VPN, I can watch anything from American Psycho to my favorite anime, regardless of my current location, and that too without any drop in speed. You can connect up to 7 devices with one subscription, which means you can share it with your family and friends too. The app's compatible with most operating systems like Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, Linux, and you can even access it on smart TVs and gaming consoles. It's not just me who's saying it, you know. CyberGhost VPN has over 38 million users and a 5-star rating on Trustpilot across 14,000 reviews. If you want something to sweeten the deal even more, then click on the link in my description and get CyberGhost VPN at only $2.03 per month, plus 4 months free too. And on top of that, you get a 45-day money-back guarantee along with 24/7 customer support. So what are you waiting for? Click on the link in my description to claim that exclusive discount right now.
Do it! Do it!
Was this cheerleading tryouts?
Let's go. Let's see what you can do. They say you never missed a shot. Prove it.
Will Smith's name might start with a W, but that's as far as it goes for him when it comes to winning in life. Now, I don't want to talk about a certain incident that literally slapped itself into global headlines.
Bruh.
So I'm going to pick out one of the few scenes from Suicide Squad that were actually worth watching. It's when Deadshot is presented with a new bargain and has to prove he's still got it with his shooting skills. Now, any normal human being would know you shouldn't mess with an expert, but Amanda Waller clearly wants to be hated, doesn't she?
Hey!
Give me the word, boss, I'll drop him.
Everybody calm down!
Right, so our anti-hero shoots his shot and does pretty well, but it's the way he kicks off his round that gives him a spot on this list. It's impromptu, and I love the vibe Deadshot created by firing without warning. To be fair, he did like the gun he was presented with. Also, why on earth did the guard bring up candy? Did you really think that this was going to stop Will Smith from choosing violence?
If this man shoots me, I want you to kill him, and I want you to go clear my browser history.
Hey, amigo, let me see your hands.
The Rock has always proven his dominance by flexing his muscles, but he's been around for a very long time, so I guess he wanted to mix things up a little bit in this scene. Black Adam is by no means a commercial juggernaut, but it was still a pretty okay film, so I don't think it deserves the criticism it received overall.
Tell him the man in black sent you.
It had some great standout moments, most particularly the entrance scene where the bold Superman fries a soldier to his very bones. That's not even the main part. Our man takes an entire barrage of bullets and doesn't even bat an eyelid. What's badass about this scene? Well, it's the simple manner in which Dwayne Johnson says, and goes on to give all the soldiers a thorough thrashing. It could easily pass off as a villain entry, but you gotta give the man some credit here. Superman could have done the same thing in Justice League if he was confronted by human soldiers, instead of overpowered heroes like Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Your power grew until it became uncontrollable.
Nicolas Cage has been on a bit of a victory lap lately. He's been part of some nice indie films and is slowly rediscovering what it was like for him to be famous for his movies instead of his off-screen persona. However, before he was chosen to play Count Dracula or Noir Spider-Man, Hollywood's favourite madman even pulled off a great audition for Batman when he played Big Daddy in KickAss. Well, it's not a direct reference to the Caped Crusader, but come on guys, just look at that suit. There's no way the producers would have gone like, yeah, this doesn't look like Batman at all. Now, if you were to ask about Nick Cage being badass, I could probably do 5 volumes just with his videos.
You heard it right, folks.
But the surprise attack on Chris and his men in the warehouse was really something else. It's not even like a funny scene or anything. The dude just straight up kills his opponents without a single care in the world. Yeah, that's what I call a total savage.
Think of the flamethrower. Is that funny?
I only have 12 bullets, so you're gonna have to share.
Let's count them down.
Here it is.
Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds are pretty much real-life alter egos at this point. I just hope he can share the same energy with Hugh Jackman and Wolverine in his highly anticipated sequel. Now, people like to say they don't mix business with pleasure, but the Red Latex Ninja operates on a totally different level of swag.
Rich Corinthian leather.
I'm looking for fences.
His cinematic introduction sets the tone for what his character's gonna be, and all I can say is, it's funny and brutal at the same time. I mean, if you're gonna watch a fourth wall breaking assassin kill people in cold blood, then it's gotta be funny.
Bad Deadpool.
7.
Good Deadpool.
You've also got to give it to a man who can burn his enemy's tongue and still crack a joke about it.
I've never said this, but don't swallow.
All the key moments here are worth a laugh as well as a squint, but yeah, it's the humour that really makes the scene. Otherwise, all of us would have just been covering our eyes.
You're probably thinking, my boyfriend said this was a superhero movie, but that guy in the red suit just turned that other guy into a f***ing kebab. Well, I may be super, but I am no hero.
You don't need to cover your eyes to like, share, and subscribe. Hey, I made that rhyme, so you gotta do it now.
Want to see my lease?
Window integrity, 1%.
Now!
Samuel L. Jackson is such a legend that I feel it's almost criminal not to use him to his full potential, even if you're running the highest grossing film franchise of all time. I mean, sure, Nick Fury's had his moments, but he can offer so much more as a character, which is why I'm really pinning my hopes on Marvel's Secret Invasion. But if you're considering existing scenes, then it's got to be this one from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. One-Eyed Sam's under a pretty brutal assault, but he's been in this kind of situation before, although now he's without John Travolta by his side. The Avengers boss is still good enough to unleash a rapid-fire machine gun and show the Hydra boys that they're dealing with an experienced badass. Actually, the real star should be the van. That thing could take some serious damage.
Window integrity, 19%.
Hello, dear.
Tell me everything. What ails you?
Do me a favor. Try not to bring it to life.
When you create something as epic as the Iron Man suit, you've got to test it out. And what better way to do it than against a terrorist group with a whole bunch of innocent hostages? Tony Stark knows what's up, so he flies down to the scene and gives us a pretty decent test run of his Mach 2 suit. This comes from the legendary 2008 Iron Man film that kicked things off in the MCU, so it was a no-brainer to include it in my top 5. What makes it stand out though? To me, this was when Tony walks away from a tank after blowing it up with some of his mini missiles. That looks so badass, man. It would make for the perfect Tinder profile picture. It would totally work on girls like Stormfront. Actually, I should stay away from that kind of company. Wouldn't want Homelander to come knocking on my door now, would I?
Say it! Say it!
Guys, stop. We gotta talk this through. It's good talk.
Here's Robert Pattinson with his bulky suit and shady eyes in a scene that's not the opening to The Batman. In all fairness, I might have overused this entry a lot, but I can't help it. It's something that's just so awesome. Anyway, this is when a bunch of guys find themselves inside a secret tunnel and come across Bruce Wayne in the middle of the shadows. Now, there's nothing special about this scene from a fighting perspective, but it's the lighting that makes it memorable. The only source of light comes from the rapid-fire shooting of the enemy's rifles, but even that ain't good enough to stop Batman from giving them the thrashing of a lifetime. It almost looks like a stop-motion sequence if you think about it. Man, I really hope the sequels do justice to the work that they've laid down here. There aren't many moments out there that can beat a bullet getting squished by an eye, and that's exactly why I'm putting my favourite Superman flex in at number 2. The Man of Steel has lived up to his name and reputation countless times, but it's not every day that we get to see something as epic as this moment from Superman Returns. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Clark Kent is just taking a barrage of bullets as he walks up to some unsuspecting goons. However, it's the final shot that gets squished simply through eye contact, and if we're being honest here, the CGI is way too good for a 2006 movie. A real badass never basks in the glory of his achievement, which is exactly what Superman does here. So after all the praise, it still doesn't make the top of my list. Also, don't forget to check out the link in the description to gain access to military-grade security from CyberGhost VPN. All their services are only $2.03 per month, plus 4 months free with a 45-day money guarantee. It's totally risk-free. Any guesses? Who's numero uno? Look out! It just had to be Thor, didn't it? I wasn't just gonna let anyone beat Superman, but Thor's legendary entrance in Avengers Infinity War is the stuff that dreams are made of.
Bring me Thanos!
It's the true epitome of badassery as the God of Thunder extends his power demonstration from the earlier scene to now flex that same power on a much larger scale. I mean, sure, if I had a new axe that could even cut through Thanos, then I'd want to show that off too.
I told you. You'd die for that.
But hey, I'm no Chris Hemsworth, and that's what makes the whole scene. The determined look in his eyes is all it takes to reassure us that we're about to witness greatness, and the Australian hunk follows through on his entrance with a killer blow. I'm pretty sure that the Russo brothers knew they had a winner here after seeing the final shot in the editing room. And that's the end of my list. What do you think about it? Is it badass enough? or do you want more? Head over to the comments to let me know and check out my exclusive links in the description too. Alright then, I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.